Hey everybody, it's Aaron and welcome back to Lord's Comics Collectibles, and this week we're going to be doing the Mattel Retro Series 8 Jeff Hardy. So let's go ahead and get into this one. Okay guys, so we got the Elite, or the Retro Series 8 Jeff Hardy. Let's get in there. Hey everybody, and we finally got him out of the box. Let's take a look at what we've got here. Sorry, I went off camera there guys. So, as you can see, the face hand looks pretty good on him. I'd say it looks like Jeff. I noticed little nice bits of detail that there's a gap here on the left eye over the eyebrow. I guess where he's got a scar, so that's pretty neat. He's got that nice little sort of raised eyebrow, sort of a people's eyebrow. He's got his long black hair that's molded over the shoulders, and they even put in his gauges, which are painted green, which I think is accurate to the time when he was wearing this gear. And if you notice, his beard that he always keeps sort of cut weird is actually brown instead of black. So that was a good little touch. They could have just painted it black like everything else, but I like that. The gear's not a lot to necessarily talk about. I mean, it's accurate to the box art and the time it's painted. It's a black and purple long sleeve shirt. You know, typical Hardy Boys, you know, Hot Topic style. Has it goes over the top of the knuckles and the thumb poking out the side. He's got on a white belt, which is not according to the box art, but I'm pretty sure he wore a white belt with this gear before. And he's got on black baggy pants, which is good if they're at least molded to be baggy, because I mean, I guess they could have been cheap and not done that. And he's got on his black and white wrestling shoes. For some reason, they always make me think of Michael Jackson shoes. I don't know why. They just do. I think that every time I see him wrestle, the head will go a full 360. The arms go all the way around the shoulder. Both legs will. There we go. Both legs will go up about 45 degrees or 90 degrees, whichever that one is. I guess that's 90. And the other one does too, but that's part of the action feature that we'll go over here in a second. But it's nice to be able to have the legs to be able to move compared to some of the other figures. But I will say he's a little harder as far as if you're fiddling around with him or posing, because he has a narrower stance, which you'll see here with we'll bring in good old Woods. I love the New Day. I don't know why when I have to grab another figure, I'm always grabbing a member of the New Day, but, you know, my videos. So, you can see the difference in stances. I mean, they both stand fine by themselves, but his arms are also closer to his body because it's a standing pose, so you can't do cool things like if you wanted to. I think his arm's a little further out. I try to keep him to hold them. It's a little harder to do. I think I did it on like Braun Strowman. I think has a little bit wider of a stance, and he could power slam people. But yeah, Jeff, you can't really grapple any or like lift them up for a slam. I mean, you can with your imagination, because you could always go like that. But just something to bear in mind. And I think it's all the kickers, because there are a couple other people that have the kick thing. But anyway, the action feature is, as you saw earlier, you push it all the way back and he kicks forward. So you push it to hear that click, that locks it, and then you push back and he kicks. So if you're not paying attention to do that, he's just going to kick. See? Locks it. And it's kind of a different way to do it, because usually there's a button to do that kind of thing. But this, which I probably have to hold Woods, because yeah, he's not going to stand well enough, but you can go, and when and you hear that click and go, and you'll kick him over. So that's kind of neat. It says on the packaging, make your opponent obsolete, which is obviously a reference to the broken Matt Hardy stuff when they came back. But I think it was just whisper in the wind, you know, the like spinning flippy kick he does off the top rope. So I don't know why they could have just named it. Well, I know why not. They were trying to capitalize on the broken Matt Hardy stuff from TNA. And sorry guys if This side of the camera's a little blown out. I've got 2 monitors now, and I cut off the main one, so that wouldn't be happening anymore. I have to work on it a little bit. My camera mount's not the best. But yeah, that's pretty much the long and short of the figure. It accurately depicts the gear he was wearing at the time, though I feel like it's a bit plain. But some of them, because they're mimicking the Hasbro of like the early 90s, have very simple designs. But I'd like to have some face paint, but I can't remember if he was like doing the face paint at the time of the WWE, to be honest. He may have been. I know he did it in TNA. But this might have been when he was going around without it. And sometimes he does wrestle without it. But usually Jeff has painted face paint. I think that would have been a nice little extra touch. And I don't know, like, I feel like you could have done more with it on some level. But it's accurate, so I can't really fault anything about it. And I don't know how they have to budget, like, decal and paint hits. So maybe they had to do something extra for the kicking feature and making this other leg go up and down, because, you know, the other people's legs generally don't go up or down. They're fixed in place. So maybe that was part of the cost cutting. Anyway, guys, I hope you found this video helpful if you were thinking about getting it. The Retros is a fun series to collect. Unfortunately, when there was a rise in the interest for the old Hasbro figures, that also had, I wouldn't say a negative effect, but it jacked up the price of the Retros because they were Hasbro-like. So I guess people were thinking, well, if I can't afford these expensive Hasbros but want to collect, I can collect the Retros. So there's some of them that are kind of pricey now, like $30, $40, or $60. There are still some cheaper ones. If you can run across them at a store, they're probably still cheap, like an actual retail store. Or I know for a while there, Five Belows were having some of the sets. So if you can find like a Five Below, or if you're not in the States or in the South, because I don't know how far Five Below stretches, a Five Below equivalent, you can still pick them up pretty easy. So I can't really recommend them for young collectors, because when I think young collectors, you want to come in under $20, like if you're getting your kids into collecting. So that's kind of sad, because I think these are good, because they're, I mean, you could break them, but there's not a whole lot of parts to lose. And like I said, I always sort of like their sort of chibi, cartoony aesthetic, so they always look nice on a shelf. But because of the price, they may not be the most affordable option for young collectors. Because I remember as a kid, I didn't necessarily keep up with my accessories, and my toys are missing things. So I guess kids are kind of relegated to the basics for right now. I mean, I guess a kid can have an Elite, but when I was young, I had like $5, $10 a week for allowance. So, you know, that's where my mindset comes at, as far as like if you want to get your kids into collecting. Anyway, guys, thank you for spending a little bit of time with me today. Sorry this one's kind of short. I like the Retros, but there's not a lot of points of articulation, and some of them have simpler designs, so there's not as much to go over. But thank you for spending time with me this week. And if you like what we do here, click the notification bell so you get notifications when I post another video. Subscribe. Leave something down in the comments. What's your guys' favorite, I don't know, Retros figure? I still want a ring, but they're kind of pricey, and I'm cheap, so I'm sort of looking at the rings and I go, man, that'd be nice to have. But with my store, with like my display shelf, do I even have room for a ring? But I'm still going to work on it. I still want the NWO Macho Man. I'm just having a hard time forking out like $50 for it. But that would complete the series with the New Day. I don't know why I like collecting them in series. I guess because when they were a little bit cheaper, I was buying them in like sets on Ringside. Because I got all of Jess together and a couple of others. But the New Day, I just got the New Day at the time because I was just thinking about collecting people I liked from it. And then I saw the Major Wrestling Figure Podcast video on the Hasbro. So I was like, well, I probably will never be able to afford collecting those, but I can collect these. Anyway, guys, I'll let you go, and I'll see you next week on Friday. Have a nice weekend, and I'll see you then. Peace.